Hey guys, it's Billy here, coming at you real quick with a kind of a gear equipment haul that I picked up this week. Some of you guys I've talked to, I know Diggy and Mitch, I don't know, a couple other guys, but I just couldn't wait to share some of this stuff with you guys. But this stuff was really cool. Anyway, I'll give you a quick rundown on what happened. Last Friday, I believe it was, I posted a picture of a Bruce Springsteen 8-track, Born to Run, and on my Facebook and Instagram, and just said, hey, I'm listening to this today, whatever. We all do. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us do that. Anyway, one of my friends said, hey, I have a box of 8-tracks that I think you would enjoy. They're yours if you want them. Come by the shop. So I messaged her, went by, I guess, on Saturday morning and picked them up. There was about 58 tracks in this box. Nothing exciting, but the fact that she was just going to give them to me was pretty awesome. I mean, I wasn't going to be ungrateful. There was like five or seven or eight in there. There's Johnny Cash, Glenn Campbell, things like that. But these were super clean, super pristine 8-tracks. So I got to talking with her. The other stuff that was in the box was, big band type stuff, easy listening stuff that Ray Conniff and stuff like that I just wasn't gonna use, and she knew I wasn't going to use it. Matter of fact, she even said, well, there's no way you're going to listen to this stuff. And I said, well, you'd be surprised. So I pulled a couple of those things, but the majority of those carts will be used for parts because they were just so clean. So if I need any rollers or anything like that, I'll have a nice stash of that stuff. So Jeff or anybody, if you guys need rollers or certain things, let me know. Jeff or LJ, if you guys fix your own stuff. I know Jeff does. I don't know if LJ does, but I'll have a good stash of parts here. But anyway, I just got to asking her, where these came from, and her husband's father had just passed in October, and she said that I guess her mother had just fallen. Or his mother, her mother-in-law, had just fallen and broken her hip, so she couldn't stay in the home anymore. So they were kind of faced with the daunting task of cleaning out the house, getting rid of their lifelong possessions, so they could get the house ready to sell. So I said, well, any kind of records, physical media, music, as well as equipment, I'd be more than happy to look at and make you an offer on. She said, well, he has a whole lot of stuff, but the basement is completely full, but you're more than welcome to come over tomorrow morning and check it out. So I went over there Sunday morning, and she had already pulled all the LPs up, which I showed you, or either I have already showed you or I will show you here in another clip. But she had already pulled up the LPs. There were 3 boxes of LPs, a handful of CDs that I didn't really need. But the LPs were just a bunch of different stuff: jazz, blues, big band, and there was some country and some classic rock in there as well. So of the 200, I probably pulled out 75, 60 or 75 that I decided I would keep. And then we went downstairs, and there were a ton of audio gear. I'm talking a ton, 2 or 3 or 4 receivers, and everything dated back from the 70s to the 90s, so 70s, 80s, and 90s. So there were receivers, there were turntables, there were cassette decks, CD players. Unfortunately, no 8-track No 8-track players. My 8-track player, as you can see right there, is a pretty modest introductory type level 8-track player, but it does the job. But I'm definitely looking to get an upgrade on my 8-track player. I want to get something classic, something vintage that not only looks nice but sounds nice as well. This one does the job. It's an old sound design. But like I said, I would really like to upgrade that. Unfortunately, we couldn't find anything, but that's not to say there wasn't one there, because this guy was by his daughter-in-law's own words, a hoarder, but a hoarder with purpose. He kept everything meticulous, like his guns and everything were just, he would always have white gloves and clean his guns, and I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't do that to this stuff as well, because it is just immaculate. And you'll see in the videos that I show you, it was gorgeous. So anyway, long story long here. I went through and told her that I would gladly make an offer on the stuff. Through talking with her and her husband, who I was more friends with her, but I knew her husband, but we certainly wouldn't consider ourselves friends. But we talked for an hour or so that day, and I felt like I got to know a little bit about his dad. This was all his dad's stuff. And told him about what I do. They know what I do, and they know I don't flip this stuff and turn it to make profit. So anyway, their kids were looking to get in to music, to the physical form of music, albeit whether it be CDs or not necessarily cassettes, but either CDs or albums. So like I said, they had 2 or 3 turntables there, a couple fully automatic turntables, and then this nice Technics turntable here that I ended up getting. The kids they didn't care what they wanted. They just wanted something that would play records, and something they wouldn't have to sit there and babysit. So I told them how everything would work. We set each kid up with a basic introductory type level receiver, with some bookshelf speakers, some like 8-inch bookshelf speakers, 6 or 8-inch speakers. I think each kid got a CD player and a turntable. So there were 2 of them. So we set those up. I took my time, explained how they work, the auto play, auto return, everything like that. The kids were really cool. One kid was, the daughter is a year older than my daughter, so they have a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old that are getting these receivers or these systems. So once I took the time and set them up, they thought that was super nice that I explained to them how everything would work and what would work best with each system. We got to talking turkey on everything else. So I ended up walking out of there with 3 receivers. Yeah, 3 receivers, 3 cassette decks, a turntable, set of speakers. What else? The 8 tracks, which she gave me the other day, all the LPs, and a couple hundred cassettes. It was just an amazing haul. We went to talk money, and he did not want to talk money. He would not. He said he wasn't going to accept anything. He was going to basically just let me have this stuff. He knew that I would appreciate it, and he knew his dad would appreciate the fact that it was his stuff was going to somebody who was going to take care of it, respect it, and not just flip it and turn it around. And I got to tell you, I was humbled, I was honored that there are people out there that are still like that. It's to him, it wasn't about the money; it was about seeing these go to a good home. And I tell you what, over the last 2 or 3 years, I've seen that happen more and more. Now, not to say that I didn't pay money for some of these album collections, but let's talk about the one album collection that I purchased last June. The lady, her brother had passed, and she had the task of getting rid of her brother's belongings, and she had probably 5,000 records. Of the 5,000, I probably took 1,200 of them off her hands, 1,000 or 1,200, and just through talking with her, that day, I felt like I really knew her brother. She felt like she knew, she was comfortable letting her brother's stuff go. And that is a lot of it. A lot of people have a hard time parting with things like that. And she felt comfortable letting that stuff go. And at the end of the day, I paid her a pretty fair sum for the records. Not It wasn't anything what like she thought she was going to get. A lot of people go into this thinking that they're going to get, they're sitting on a gold mine, when the realistic thing is if you're sitting on just general 70s and 80s type records that there's a ton of, albeit they're great titles. If people are going to come in and buy them in bulk, you're gonna get $1 a piece or something like that for them, or less. But at the end of the day, she got a pretty good chunk of money, and gave me a hug at the end of the day, and told me just to take care and respect her brother's records, which you guys know that that's exactly what I'll do. So. And enough talking here. I'm going to show you guys everything. I have everything still. You can see here it's all unboxed, but I recorded earlier everything as it was here when I brought it in. Everything boxed up. So let's cut over to that and let you guys see everything, and I'll come back when it's all said and done. So here's everything I ended up coming away with there. As you can see up in the top left corner up here, we have the Technics SL Q350 turntable. It's a decent little turntable. Everything in there is still all like as new. I haven't really got anything out yet, but I'm gonna open all this stuff up here shortly, and you guys will be able to see what was all in there. But everything has all the manuals and everything. Just a kind of a basic receiver there, Optimus STAV 3400. There's the badass realistic Mach 2s. There were a couple hundred, maybe I'd say 250 to 300 LPs. Bunch of really interesting jazz and blues type stuff. Also some rock stuff and old country stuff. Let's see here what this one was. Just in great condition. It's a 6i as well. Beautiful pressing. So there's some, and then some just other stuff that's like off the wall. Nice 80s stuff, but a ton of, there's a quad. He had a quad system apparently. The quad test record, and there's also a beautiful copy of that. I'm so stoked to see that. Where is... There's some more Johnny Cash in there. Gorgeous copy. Get rid of Bruce here. There they are. Yeah, really gorgeous original pressing, 2112. But here's what I was looking for. These quad Eagles on the border in one of these nights. Super stoked to see all that stuff. Some really weird and interesting box sets as well. Of course, there's the Springsteen box set. This is To the Moon. I don't know, just interesting. And then some 45s and a bunch of jazz and blues stuff. But there was also a box of 8 tracks. There were about 58 tracks of the 50. These were the only ones I ended up keeping. Real nice, gorgeous 8 tracks though. Those were the only ones I ended up keeping. The rest of them I'm going to keep for parts. And then this was a nice surprise, a realistic STA 100 receiver, an old receiver that he said his dad had hooked up with the Mach 2. So can't wait to get those hooked up. And then over here, these were in there as well. A couple, three cassette decks here. There were this old Sanyo, nothing special but very cool looking. A real nice Pioneer, CTW801R. And then I was stoked to see the two Kenwood pieces here because I have a Kenwood CD players, and so these will go into the system and replace the this, especially the cassette deck. The receiver will not, because I just use my Marantz, but that might go somewhere. But the Kenwood cassette deck will definitely go in and replace the Sony cassette deck that I currently have over here in my system. So there, as you can see, is the Marantz. But I'm just running a standard Sony cassette deck now. So this Kenwood will really be a sweet upgrade there. So let me turn this off and we will show you the stuff unboxed. Alright guys, real quick, I wanted to show you before I had everything unpacked. As I was unpacking this, just to see how they took care of all this stuff. Let me get these out of here real quick. But you can see this was packed just like it came from the factory. Look at that. I mean, somebody took immaculate pride in this stuff. So I'm gonna get this all unpacked, and I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. This should just give you an idea of the Technics turntable, how clean it was. And he even had the transportation screws in there. There is the slip mat there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this all put back together and set it up. Here's that Optimus 3400 receiver. But man, when I open this thing up, holy crap, how awesome is this? It looks just like a basic receiver as far as from the box and everything I looked up. But it's 110 watts per channel in stereo, and it has just everything you could imagine. And look at how clean that thing is. I mean, the remote was never used. He's even got his original slip in here from whenever he, I guess, purchased this. He pulled it out of the catalog. But look at that price, $5.99. Crazy, crazy. But just like I said, let's go around the back here, just to give you an idea of just how freaking clean this stuff is. It's unbelievable. I don't know if I want to give this one to my daughter or not. I was originally going to give this to my daughter to use on her system, but hell, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Here's what I was able to find online on this, the realistic, the STA 100. Very, very nice looking classic receiver from 1980. Found the Radio Shack catalog online from 1980, page 15. Looks like it's 22 watts per channel. So I don't know if that's going to be good enough to power those the realistic Mach 2s. More than likely, what he had was the Mach 2s were probably hooked up with the the Optimus 110 watt per channel, or 110 watts receiver. So there you go. There's a little information on that on the realistic what's that, the STA 100 receiver. So here's the receiver. I went ahead and got it powered up. I don't have anything to hook the speakers up to give them a test right now. I'm gonna get some new speaker wire and get everything hooked up. But as you can see, a beautiful looking wood veneer case, just as clean as the day it was made. I mean, just unbelievable the way this guy took care of his stuff. Just gorgeous. Everything powered up. That accidentally hit the button there. But as you can see, everything powers up. All the lights work, even on the channels. Everything works as it should. So I can't wait to get some speaker cable to get these guys hooked up. There's the speakers right there, the realistic Mach 2s. Not a scratch on them. I mean, there's Side view, just clean, superb, beautiful looking speaker. There, he had them set to flat. So, I mean, everything's clean. The foam is intact and in perfect condition. Here is the turntable. Super, super clean. Dust cover. Well, I can't lift it all the way because the Marantz is hitting it, but you can see that there. I mean, just clean, not a scratch on it. So I can't wait to get this thing hooked up. More than likely, I'm going to end up putting this guy in the mix to power those guys. So there you have it, guys. Also had some cassettes that I wanted to show you. So let me head over there. There were about 200 cassettes in this lot as well. So real quick, nothing fancy here. Just go through. Here's the cassettes that they had. Just awesome to add all this to the collection. Spin through here real quick. Just give you a quick peek as to what was in there. Again, there's so much, so many different genres of music. It was crazy. Even some harder to find stuff. Really cool. And then some country. So there you have it. A couple hundred CDs there that were actually in that collection as well. So there you have it, guys. Pretty cool haul. Even if I had paid a decent amount of money for this stuff, it would have been great. But the fact that this stuff was given to me is makes it that much sweeter, and it's so clean. I can't wait to get this stuff hooked up. I need to order some speaker cables because these guys here, and I'm going to talk. I need to talk to Brandon. I doubt that this guy here, the realistic at 22 watts per channel is going to be enough ass to power these guys. I think that the Optimus at 110 watts is what's going to take to run this guy. Either the the Optimus or the Marantz here at 75 or 85 watts channel. So guys, thanks for tuning in as always. I don't know what I'm going to be doing here for if I'll be doing much between now and Christmas. I know I will. I have a lot of sorting to do, a lot of organizing, and as soon as I get all that done, I'll be able to enjoy the collection a lot more. But then I don't know, as far as buying or showing, vinyl updates and things like that, I have just a couple things that I need to show, but I don't think I'm going to get my December wish list record of the month, but hey, I'm not complaining. I've had a great year. It's been an awesome year. There are 3 records that are still on my list that I can't find in the condition that I want to get. I know a couple of you have asked, and I greatly appreciate that. You said you would keep your eyes open for me, but please don't by any means go out of your way to get those. I mean, like I said, I've had a great year. It's been amazing. I've made so many great friends. So if I do make another video, it'll probably be I'm planning on making a shout out video. So many great new channels, so many great new friends. I'll probably I need to make something or think about a contest because I've far exceeded 500 subs. In the year that I've been here, I totally let my year anniversary pass by without thanking you guys. So I need to make a proper video for that. So I'm gonna come up with something. But I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you guys as always for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.